Adrian Peterson has been suspended by the NFL for the rest of the 2014 season, and he's been suspended without pay. This is actually really big news. I don't think Adrian Peterson was exactly expecting this to happen. Now, according to reports, the Huffington Post to be specific, NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell explained the suspension in a letter to Peterson, writing that he has shown no meaningful remorse and that his reinstatement will be based on the results on the counseling or of the counseling and treatment program set forth in this decision. Moreover, Goodell says, it appears that this is not the first time that you have punished children in this way. Public statements attributed to you indicate that you believe that this kind of discipline is appropriate and you do not intend to stop disciplining your children this way. Now, the union representing NFL players has also released a statement. Adrian Peterson plans to appeal this decision, but I think that they actually make a fair point, right? Now, do I agree with him being suspended for hitting his 4-year-old son with a switch to the point where he's bleeding? Yeah, he should have been suspended. However, as the union says, the NFL has not been consistent on issues regarding domestic violence. So they're saying, well, what exactly is your policy? Because if you look at past instances, you guys have covered up cases of domestic violence. There was a story we didn't get to this week where the New York Times revealed that in a lot of cases, the NFL is in cahoots with local authorities. Local authorities will work for the NFL or local teams, and as a result, they'll look out for the players who are in the middle of a domestic dispute.
Now, the NFL would then turn around and say, yeah, well, we're trying to make a clean break from that and get better going forward, and this is how we get better. Now, so that seems like a bit of a controversy, so let's drop it.
Let's do it.
I'm going to start off festivities here with Justice Jackson, who might have a bit of a controversial opinion.
We're wondering if he should be suspended for the rest of the season?
Yes.
Sure, I mean, that's the NFL's decision because they're worried about their product, and this has been flooding their, since the beginning of the season, it's been flooding their season. So that's fine. They're a company. They can suspend employees, I guess, in a way, even though he's actually an employee of the Vikings. But, yeah, sure, why not? The other thing is though, I don't really see any, I don't think Roger Goodell cares about the remorse. You don't seem remorseful about beating your kid. So I'm going to suspend you. That has nothing to do with anything. What he's worried about is how this looks for his company, which is his only job, honestly.
Right.
So that's why he's doing it. So I'm calling bullshit on that. Because in reality, after that, they need to face whatever charges or disciplinary action they should take with life, with law enforcement, with criminal charges, all that stuff. Once that happens, I think as long as the team will hire them, they should be playing next year. I mean, sit them out for your PR reasons, sure, it's your decision. But then after that, if they need to take care of their personal lives. And if you really wished he would do something different with his kid and he had some remorse, you'd get him some help. Because it happened to him as a kid. That's how the cycle of violence happens. If you want him to get some help him get some help.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say reinstate him. Okay, Chief Justice, what's your thoughts here?
I'm totally fine with him getting suspended. I mean, but like the player associations, like, what is your stand on all this violence, domestic violence? So it's kind of like the line's very blurred. I'm happy they suspended him. Yeah,
I'm a little more torn. Look, so on the one hand, I understand what Adrian Peterson's lawyers are saying. Like, really? We had a clear policy on what you considered normal spanking and what you considered child abuse and who was going to get suspended for that? Yeah, I'm not really buying that that policy was altogether that clear when they started punishing Adrian Peterson, right? So, on the other hand, it appears that Adrian Peterson, from the outside, if there's new evidence that shows otherwise, I'm very open to hearing that. It appears that Peterson's saying like, nah, not buying it. This is how I discipline my kids.
That's true.
Right.
He pleaded no contest to the charges against him. He's facing criminal charges.
Right.
I agree with the suspension. I know you didn't ask me, but I'm going to go ahead and share my opinion.
Okay, I wasn't done, but go ahead. All right.
No, you go
Of course
ahead.
I was going to ask you. Okay, what are we?
Right.
How can we have an official vote without asking? All right, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that I didn't agree with JR until he actually laid it out the way that he did, and it's true. I mean, with every crime, there's a punishment. You serve the punishment, and then you should be able to move on with your life. So I agree with the suspension, and they should be able to reinstate him after he serves his time and after this season.
Yeah, I would have voted to reinstate him immediately, and not just because he's on my fantasy football team. But because I don't think the policy was that clear. And I would make it clear, and he's already served a long, long sentence here, right? It's cost him a tremendous amount of money, and it should have. Like beating your kids with a switch and cutting their back, and hitting them in the genitals, accidentally or otherwise. I mean, whipping your kids until you take skin off. That's a serious offense, and we've talked about that before. But we're going to be unanimous because you can't go to the NFL and say, I don't give a damn about your policy. I'm going to keep beating my kids. Then they can't let you back in the league. If you want to do an act of principle on that and you think that's really important and you're going to stand up for your principles, okay, I don't agree with your principles, but I guess I respect that you think you have those and you're going to stand up for them and it's going to cost you millions of dollars, but then you can't complain they didn't put you back in the league because you're not following their rules.
Exactly.
So 4-0. Sorry, Adrian. And sorry, Jank. He's not going to come back this year, and you're going to have to start other running backs.